And I'm recording. Bah. Wait a minute. Fuck. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Falcon. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, or whatever time it is over there for you. I just recently woke up, so I just decided to record this video. Wanted to record it last night, but my headset was giving me issues. Real quick, before I get into the video, a couple of updates. Over the time of me not uploading, I've managed to get pretty much everything. I have full eye tracking, face tracking. Look at that, I got a giant tongue. And 11-point tracking, individual finger tracking, all that fun stuff. So I pretty much reached the end game. Hopefully, it's something that comes through to the video, or if you're talking to me, like in VR, hopefully you find it more, I don't know, words that go here. Why does my eye tracking keep drifting? Anyways, so I wanted to get into this video. Like I said, I wanted to record it last night about the furry community. Hello, my eyes are here. One sec, guys. I'm officially back. Hopefully. Alright, so I'm back. Had the dog barking, eye tracking was spazzing out, and that was a whole hell of a fun time. But where was I? Right. So the video is going to be about two things. I want to make it two parts. One part about, furry VR chat content creators, and on the other part, content creators as a whole. I wanted to rant about something that I've been noticing in the community that's kind of been on my mind. It's not a vent. I'm not exactly angry about it. But without further ado, let's get into it, I guess. I'm going to start off with furries as a whole, because, of course, if you're a furry getting into VR chat, it's going to be what you experience the most often. And I've noticed that a lot of the time when you're interacting in just public worlds or whatnot, right? And I know it's VR chat, and it's not everybody, but there's a large amount of people who either just don't have any sense of boundaries, or they have an incredibly large ego, right? To the point where it's, I don't know, really unnecessary. Take, for example, if I was with my boyfriend. Were they my boyfriend at the time? I think they might have been, but might not. Anyways, we were just in a public world, just vibing out and whatnot, and somebody, I don't know why, they chose to single me out specifically. I guess I had an intimidating voice or something, and they had to prove something, but pretty much every single time, the first interaction was them just telling me to my face not to touch them, even though I hadn't before, and I really hadn't thought about doing it. And they continued to stay around. They said comments like, "I'm glad I'm the way that I am," and when we were talking, just joking around about how I threw a refrigerator at my stepmom's car. That's a story for another day. Everything that was said about me, they had to try and one-up me for no reason in particular. We're in a VR chat world, it's the internet. Realistically, nobody's gonna care about it, but I don't know why they had to one-up me on everything. And there's a lot of other instances, right? I've met people in their 30s, and furries, and talking with them is really difficult because they kind of just, everything they say, they're so incredibly authoritative over, and it's not really fun to communicate when, if you say something different, they don't agree with it, and they make it the point to not agree with it if they don't agree with it. if that makes any sort of sense. And these are like fully grown adults, you know, that just, I don't know. And it's weird. And again, it's not everybody, but there is a large subset of the furry community out there out playing VR chat who just have really big egos. And it's not even particularly in anything they say in specific. It doesn't have to be that. It's just got to be the way that they carry themselves. And it makes it feel like you're not talking to them, you're talking to their ego and their personality, right? You can't really talk to them because they built up a wall that if they let it down, it's not gonna be good for whatever personal reasons for them. This is entirely speculative. And on the other side of personal boundaries, I get it, it's VR chat, but start this off by another story personally that I've had. This was literally yesterday. I was with my definite boyfriend, right? He was right there. He was just looking at VR chat avatars. Oh, by the way, quick shout out. Silver is the one that made this model, and I forgot to mention that earlier. Anyways, he was over there in front of the mirror looking at avatars, as we usually tend to do sometimes. And somebody joined in, I'm not going to name names, and they walked up, they hugged me. Okay. I'm generally a pretty openly intimate person with people, so I don't mind hugs. I don't mind people, you know, snuggling up to me. That's whatever. And then they started making out with me without even asking, right? And I don't feel assaulted by this. I'm not going to try and call that. But without any form of consent or any kind of like, hey, I'm going to do this, they just started kissing me. And my boyfriend was right there in front of the mirror. I was like, whoa, okay, no, whoa, right? Kind of like gesturing them to stop. And they just kept going. And then my boyfriend said, hey, don't kiss my boyfriend. And then he went over there to kiss him. And he said, or me either. And then the person proceeded to go ahead and talk about, I hate closed polys. They break my heart. And it's just interactions like that. You know, other furries, right? I can get jokes. I can usually get jokes because I'm a joking person, right? I will, in a public lobby, get a little wild. Sometimes I'll go up to a stranger and ask, jokingly, of course, may I eat your feet? Right? Just to get a reaction out of people, right? Just to make people laugh. But there are some furries who will go and suddenly, this is another interaction that I've had, just start having sex in a public instance. Out of nowhere. And it makes other people uncomfortable. They don't care. And they'll get particularly loud about it too, right? Like, oh my fucking God. And it's just not fun at that point. And again, I need to reinstate, this isn't everybody. Right. I've met a lot of very wonderful furries out there. A lot of very sociable, interactable, people you just sit down and talk to for hours. But it goes without saying, you're going to meet an abnormally large amount of people who are like that, who don't exactly respect social boundaries, of course, in a VR game, but regardless. And I haven't really seen that kind of thing in other communities, which is weird. I guess furries are just naturally more intimate, right? We're dressing up, like, quite literally as animals, creatures, anthropomorphic, what have you. Firefly. What have you, and you know, that naturally incentivizes people to come up and be a little bit more intimate than they would usually be with strangers. But there's a lot of them that don't respect that social boundary, like having sex in a public lobby or a busy Friends Plus lobby spontaneously without any other person consenting to being, you know, a part of that, right? They didn't care. Just like, you know, the person who came up and started making out with me. They didn't ask. I didn't want it. They started making out with my boyfriend. He didn't want it. And those are the two extremes, but it's like that more often than not. Thankfully, it's not going to happen every time. It doesn't happen every time I get onto a public lobby. You know, usually that thing, it's a little more frequent than I would like it to be. And I guess that barely fucking hardly leads us into the second half of this video, right? And that's with furry VR chat content creators. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am not the most popular furry, but I am technically a poppy fur, right? I have, God, what, 3,200 TikTok followers or something like that. I got invited by somebody else to join a TikTok community. And, you know, I have a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. You know, I've met the owner and friend of the owner of Furry Talk and Chill. No, Furry Hideout. I've met Furry Talk and Chill's owner's fiance. I know the head admin for Furry Hideout. I've met countless amounts of, and I'm friends with countless amounts of VR chat avatar creators, VR chat content creators, VR chat streamers. I've met Nikki's Floof, right? I've met a whole lot of people, and a whole lot of people know me. So I'm a popular furry, right? And particularly with, especially the more popular furries. What are my eyes doing again? Especially with the more popular furries, right? Nikki's Floof, and I can't even remember the names of the other ones. I don't really care. You notice, at least I've noticed, you don't talk to them, you talk to their personality, which is just a horrible fucking way to be about yourself. And through that, I've noticed that a lot of content creators are just kind of pieces of shit. They're hardly even humans to talk to. And it's not really people you want to be around, right? Like with Nikki's Floof, right? I respect them. I actually genuinely enjoy their content, and they make some pretty cool shit. But the time that I interacted with them, I never talked to them, even though I was directly speaking to them. I felt like they were just putting up a wall and not letting anybody pass that wall except for the people who said the right words that wouldn't be filtered through that wall. I could talk to their friends, right? And I met an actually pretty amazing bean who was, you know, part of, or trying to be part of that community, right? But in general, it was like, they were talking to me, they could talk to me just fine. I couldn't say anything to them that they would just listen to. And it wasn't nobody else. And it's not just with them as well. You know, I've been in other instances where it was a group of TikTok creators. And it was a group of TikTok creators, like 10 or, you know, 8 or 10, God, even more people who would talk to each other and nobody else. And again, you could talk to them, but you weren't talking to them. You were talking to their personality, right? With their online persona. And their friend group was exactly the same. And if you would try to be part of the friend group, like you could try and you might even succeed, but you would have to do things that, I don't know, impress them just to be a part of the group that you could talk to. And it's kind of toxic. Like, it's really fucking toxic at the end of the day, right? And you talk to somebody like me, or, and again, it's not every content creator. I must reinstate this. This is with a large amount, but not all of them. Probably not even the majority. But you come up to somebody like me, and you come up to somebody like, I don't know, name a person, right? I don't know who you know, but you could just talk with them. get into my lobby, talk with me. I'll interact with you. I'll do random shit. I'll do funny shit. I'll take you seriously, you know, as long as you take me seriously or take my humor for your humor, right? And it's just fun to vibe out and relax, right? And just be a part of whatever chaos is going on. I'm not trying to make a name for myself. I'm not trying to uphold anything, right? I'm just trying to be me. And you'll notice if you go around content creators more, they're not trying to be them. They're trying to be who everybody thinks they are. And it's destructive, you know? And again, it's not really all the time. You hardly even meet them. Unless you're in a Murder 4 lobby for whatever reason that's popular with like every furry content creator on the face of the planet. I don't get it, but hey, I don't make the rules. But when you do, especially with more popular furries, more sociable furries, they'll probably notice this as well. I'm not going to speak for them, but they might have seen that as well. It's just hard to talk to those people. They don't care about you or what you have to say. You could speak to them, but at the end of the day, they're just going to forget everything that you even told them the second that you stop speaking. And they're going to forget about your existence. They're not going to care about that interaction in the slightest. And it's just a toxic way to go about being yourself. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that. Thankfully, not everybody does it. Right? You have people like me. You have people like the one friend I'm not naming. So in general, it's kind of like the things that I've noticed about the furry community. You know, with content creators and furries as a whole. It's not terrible. I honestly love the fact that I can just go out, be a dork, be a doofus, do a bunch of random shit, and nobody's gonna care. Like, almost nobody's going to judge me for just being weird, right? And the goal isn't to make people uncomfortable, it's to just get people to laugh and have a fun time. That's the whole reason I'm in VR chat, and in my experience, a lot of it has been that. I don't think people should shy away from it, and I think especially if you're somebody who isn't a furry, but wants to, like, know furries, you don't gotta do anything special. There's been a couple times where somebody who wasn't a furry, who previously didn't even like furries, came on, asked, right? They asked around, they just wanted to get information, and we were completely open about it, about everything. And the drama that happens now is nowhere near what it used to be like when, you know, fucking Uncle Kage was running the scene, right? Back when JSON effects was popular, back when Google Plus was a very big avenue for furries to just vibe out and do whatever. Google Plus, what a fucking failure. But, and in general, my experience has been pretty positive, but, you know, there's always those semi-often those people who you just don't talk to, or who have no respect for your boundaries, who have an incredibly large ego, and if you don't say things that match their ego, they don't care about you. But, yeah. That's kind of the rant that I wanted to get off today. Again, I apologize for not uploading nearly as early as I should have, right? I wanted to get more videos out, but a clusterfuck of life happened, right? I got, well, of course, a face tracker, which is no. That's on my tongue. Anyways, and I had to get a new car because my old one got fucked. My boyfriend's coming in to see me tomorrow. So just a lot of life stuff has happened, and I've been incredibly busy. But if you watched through this entire video and you liked it, well, thank you so much. It means a lot, especially if this video gets past like 10 views. Yeah. And if you want to subscribe, go for it. It's no promise on when I'll upload next, but I'll probably upload, right? I've been pretty consistent for the past 11 years, despite the fact that I deleted like 400 videos off of my channel a while back. You're not going to see them, but anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Decent while now. I got more ideas coming in, content ideas coming in for the future. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and you stayed here, thank you so much. It means a lot. As always, keep living it.